Grand Rising, welcome in Rainy Bunch. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's the vibe? Let me know down in the chat. I am going to go a little bit like that. Okay. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Let me know down in the chat. So I am going to go ahead and pray into the cards, and then I'll let y'all know what it is we are doing today. Okay? I call upon our great divine, our most high, our divine ancestors, and our divine spirit guides to give each individual soul the divinely accurate messages that they need to hear today's spirit, not what they want to hear, but what they need to hear, spirit, in order to grow, learn, and evolve along their journeys, no matter what situations, trials, tribulations they are facing at this moment in time, spirit. Please allow me to deliver these messages in a divinely eloquent manner so that they can understand and interpret the messages that are needed for them to be in accordance with your will for their destiny timeline. In Jesus' name we pray, amen, and so it is. Ashe. What's up, spirit? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's the vibe? Let me know down in the chat. You could be waiting for some blessings to roll in at this time. If you are interested in a personal reading, that is what we're going to go ahead and do today. So yesterday we did collective reading, and I am going to post that video to YouTube. I was only, now mind you, I want you guys to understand this. If you're interested in a personal reading, let me know down in the chat, but I'm going to want you guys to understand what happened yesterday. So yesterday I was only going to post the reading portion of of the live. You know what I'm saying? The rest, was really just me on a tangent, on a rant. You know what I'm saying, about different things going on that I need you guys to be consciously aware of, you know? And I'm going on about those things because I really truly need you guys to be consciously aware of these things, as well as, I'm just, throwing speculation as well, right? So on TikTok, I'm throwing out speculation when it regards the Epstein files, right? I was throwing out speculation, and I was saying how, the Epstein files, aren't going to be released because of who is on the list. You know what I'm saying? Very powerful people, very rich people who we don't even know. You know what I'm saying? They are not in the public atmosphere, not just these Hollywood stars or these politicians. People in very high places that we have no recollection of because they have not put themselves in the eye of the public. Okay, those kind of names are on that Epstein files list, and that's why they won't release it. That's my speculation. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm talking about on TikTok Live yesterday. That's all we're talking about. After we did the collective reading, I'm just going on a tangent because I want you guys to be aware of those things. And then TikTok decides to take my live down. Yes, I mean, mid sentence, I am talking to the collective mid sentence, and TikTok is like, boom. I'm like, what just happened? And I tell you guys, all the time that these social media apps don't like me. Okay, they don't like me, right? And it's not because they personally don't like me, it's the people in these high positions of power don't like me. You know why? Because I'm gonna talk about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking about matrix society for years now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk about this stuff. They don't like me because I talk about it, and that's why they took my live down. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give me a warning, and I appealed it because I was like, that's just speculation. You know what I'm saying? Until they release the Epstein files, you can't try to say I was spreading misinformation because we don't have all the facts yet. Until we have all the facts, and if when we have all the facts, if we get the facts, like I said, these are very powerful people on that list, partaking in very, multiple different activities, right, when it comes to human lives that they shouldn't be partaking in, right? And so it's like, that's why they won't release it. That's why Trump is being pressured. That I'm like, that's just speculation based off the facts that we have right now. So you can't call it misinformation. You know what I'm saying? But if they were to release it, you know what I'm saying, then If I'm wrong, of course they're gonna black out some names on there. Okay, there's very powerful people on there that don't want you to know about their existence, so they're gonna black out their names, right? But that's what I'm saying. We Until we see the list, it's just speculation. It's not misinformation. You know what I'm saying? You have to ask yourselves why they don't want to release the list. It's not just about Trump. It is not just about Trump. If we are ignorant to believe that Epstein's files is only about Donald Trump, we would truly be so far behind as a collective. You know what I'm saying? Intellectually, our discernment as a collective would be lacking. You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to discern the extra spiritual level. You know what I'm saying? And really understand what is going on in the society that we are witnessing today. Okay? So that's why I talk about those things, because I want you guys to be aware of those things. But as y'all see, TikTok don't like when I talk about those things. Okay? None of the social medias really like when I talk about those things, but I'm gonna call them out on it every single time. Okay, that's why I posted that video yesterday. You can see it in the YouTube shorts, you can see it on TikTok, you can see it on Instagram. That is why I posted that video yesterday, calling them out and telling them I don't rely on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to going live and stuff, there are multiple multi-streaming apps, there are multiple streaming platforms. You know what I'm saying? I don't rely on TikTok in and of itself. Okay, all right, I'm using TikTok as a way to connect with you guys. You know, that's it. That's it. I don't trust these devices. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust these phones, right? I want to make sure that we as a soul tribe can connect with one another outside of technology, because of how how controlled technology truly is. I want you to understand that they can really shut down our phones simultaneously and instantaneously uh, with the flip of the switch. You know what I'm saying? And we will all be phoneless. We would all be phoneless. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, seriously, all it takes, shut down the grids. Shut down the grids. How is humanity going to survive then? You know what I'm saying? You shut down the grid, then humanity that relied so heavily on the government is now struggling because they're like, wait a second, the grid practically ran everything. So yeah, I mean, there's that's why I don't trust technology, and that is why I rather us have multiple platforms to congregate on and have multiple ways to congregate on. I don't know. Anybody know how to train pigeons? Hit my line. You know what I'm saying? Because I want us to have options. Okay. Alrighty, I want us to have options, okay, because this divine revolution is happening, right? I want us to have options, and how we're going to partake in that, even if they try to shut the grid down on us, okay? Alrighty, we got to stop relying on these governments so heavily when they don't even like us. They don't respect us. They don't like us. You know what I'm saying? Don't even think we're human or with a soul. You know what I'm saying? They treat us like we're bugs, and people just sit around and let it happen because that's what they've been conditioned and integrated into as normal. I don't know. All my life I thought that was weird. All my life I thought it was weird. Was I consciously aware as a child? No. But did all my life I think it was weird how things were ran? Yes. Okay, all my life. I was like, wait, right? And then come up on my spiritual journey and it's like, that's why. That is why. This is... We are doing personal readings, by the way, guys. I just wanted to let you guys know about that situation that happened yesterday on TikTok's live, and I will be posting the entire live onto YouTube so you guys can see that as well for the collective reading, as well as for the part where I was talking about the things I need you to be aware of with this government. Okay, not misinformation, it's awareness. I need you to be aware of it because it's spiritual discernment. Use your spiritual discernment. Okay, I tell you, I don't know. I need a team. I need a team, y'all. So if you got a hacker, if you know a really good hackers or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Because we got to see where this money is going. Because I can prove it to you real quick. If you watch where the money flows, that's where their intention and energy goes. You know what I'm saying? So we watch where their money flows. You know, if y'all know, hit my line. Okay, because this divine revolution is happening, I promise. But yeah, so that video will be posted when don't know. I'm kind of behind on collective readings being uploaded from TikTok. So but they are like the forever readings. So it's fine. It's not like it was like that day you needed it. No, it's more like that reading is going to resonate always in time. Okay, because everybody is always at a different point of their spiritual journey, so they're gonna need to hear it at different points on when they're ready to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right. So if you're interested in getting a personal reading, what is what? Nanomi May? I don't know if I said that right, but welcome in. How you doing, hon? He said, but I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I understand your question. So, but yeah, if you're interested in a personal reading, okay, we're doing personal readings right now. All right, my Cash App is in my YouTube bio. It's $5 for a 3-card and $10 for a 5-card reading. Okay. So not really sure, but yeah, I will get those collective readings uploaded as soon as possible. And then I know we have been really just focusing on readings in our YouTube long form, and that's what's gonna be not like the normal, but it's gonna be like more integrated into it, as well as the other our spiritual wisdom long form videos will be coming back. Y'all know with my injury, it's just a lot to try to like I can make videos in the bed, but I rather do it at my desk. And I'm still healing, so when I get better, you know what I'm saying, which should be soon, you know what I'm saying, but when I get better, you see the spiritual wisdom long form videos on YouTube again. Okay, as well with the lives, I don't this is still in the works, but I don't believe we're going back to the live schedule that we were previously doing before my injury, because I'm discussing it with God, but I'm thinking of focusing the lives on tarot. Okay, and keeping the live streams focused on tarot, and using my divine gifts to help you guys, and keeping the long form videos a mixture, tarot, spiritual wisdom, spiritual tips, spiritual guidance that you can use along your spiritual journey, to help you grow, learn, evolve, right, in the long form as well as the short form um, videos. Okay. All right. There's gonna be another big change we're making to the channel, and you guys know, like, really I'm just there's so many things going on, especially since I'm in school as a full college student, so I'm always like having to like reverb the schedule, and find what works for us, right? And there so many different ideas, but I feel like we're really getting into a rhythm and a groove for the brand. Okay, especially coming up on this 1 year anniversary. So I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? to see what it is the Lord has in store for us, right? No rush here. Okay, we already know that the Lord is taking us up, up, and up. Okay, as the grace I have was awarded to start. Okay, with the Six of Swords trying to come out of the deck. All right, so yeah, if you would like a personal reading, let me know down in the chat, okay? My cat, that's the, wait, I just shuffled and the Six of Swords came out again. Yeah, Spirit is saying we're going up, up, and up towards calmer water, okay? We are going to connect all of our soul tribe together here in the physical realm, not just in the ethers, okay? As well as we're going to band together with the 144,000 soul tribe family members that are the divine soldiers that were sent here by the Lord themselves. Okay, so the Lord has sent divine soldiers, some very highly ranked divine soldiers as well, and then our other comrades. Okay, so all of these divine soldiers that are here, that are a part of the Lord's army, that are on the physical plane right now because they either were requested by the Lord or, they were drafted, you know what I'm saying? Depending on your ranking, um, for this divine revolution. Okay, and we are going to gather the 144,000 divine soldiers together in the physical plane, and we are going to get this divine revolution fully underway. Okay, so we can work towards world peace, right? Do I know the timeline for this and how long that will take us? No. I know it could be anywhere from 5 years to a decade, right? For us to fully do this. Okay, so 5 years to a decade might sound long, but it's really not. It's really not, right? Especially in divine timing, it's not long at all. Okay, especially when 144,000 people still, a lot, not. I would say like a good percentage. Okay, let's say it like this. I gotta do the diagram. You know what I'm saying? So I can map it out the way that Spirit is showing it to me, right? So you got, Spirit said if 144,000 are divine soldiers, let's say 5% of the divine soldiers have already come into their place of recognition, right? They 5% of the 144,000 are already in a spot of recognition. They already have the tools and the means to help progress our divine revolution. Like they're 5% of them are already in the spot they need to be in, as well as keep progressing and growing and learning. Okay, then you got a huger chunk of the 144,000. You know what I'm saying? A huger chunk of the 144,000. Where are we at in the numbers? Okay, 50. Spirit said 50, so about 50%, right? So now that would bring us at 55% in total. So about 50% of the 144,000 divine soldiers are either just coming into, right, their spiritual gifts, right? They're just coming into this, or they're on this brink of having the means, having the recognition, having all the tools that is needed. They're going to be, this half of the 50% is going to be joining this 5%, whereas some of this 50% has just got into this spiritual awakening, or really getting into their gifts and making their gifts known to the world, right? So that is about what, that's what we're at, 55%. So the remaining, is that 45? Yeah. So the remaining 45%, Spirit said, they're either just about to wake up, right? In the next 5 years, they're just about to wake up, or they're not there yet. You know what I'm saying? They still have a couple, they still have a dark night of soul to go through, and they still, have to have a few lessons to go through, trials, tribulations, before they can get to this point of being ready for their spiritual awakening You know what I'm saying? So there is a good 45 chunk percent that is still needing to be shifted in. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Spirit said there's approximately 3 more shifts into the 5D energy. And this is going to take a course of 5 years. Okay. We can make it happen faster, or, you know, divine timing, 5 years is the max amount of time we'll need. So that being said, right, so you have these souls who are already in their position and they're ready to go. They're just waiting for this other 45, 50%, you know, this basically what 95%, the other 95% to meet them here. Okay, so like I said, in this 50% of people, there's a good chunk of them who are moving into this 5% energy, and then there's people from the 45% who are moving into this 50% energy, right? Like everybody is being moved in shifts. Okay, so the people who have stature right now, like they have the spiritual recognition on the physical plane right now as you know, either tarot readers or they do astrology, you know, like really big. These people, these spiritualists are, you know, gaining a lot of recognition. Okay, those are the people in the 5%, right? Because they were awakened earlier on so that they could help the 144,000 to awaken to their power. Okay. So, you know, this doesn't explain divine rankings in a sense, but it does explain who, you know, who was needed to wake up who first. Okay. It does, but it doesn't explain divine ranking, right? It just explains who God woke up and intended for them to go through certain things first, for them to wake up in their reality, you know, for their spiritual awakening, go through certain things so that they can awaken to their powers and then start sharing their powers with the rest of the world. And that's why they're at where they're at now. You know what I'm saying? So and a lot of those spiritualists are older than Gen Z, a little older than Gen Z. These are like millennials, you know what I'm saying? So these spiritualists that are in the 5%, most of them are like millennials, or you know, just a little bit above Gen X, a little bit above millennials. Okay, so that those, you know, age wise, in the physical body, that's why they are awoken first. Okay, they were here on this planet first. That's why they're awoken first. Then you got all the Gen Zers. Okay. Right. There is a lot of millennial and Gen Z divine soldiers who have not yet woken up, and a lot of them that have woken up. So you're like, well, yeah, Gen Z, I want you guys to understand, Gen Z are adults now. So yes, it makes sense that Gen Z would be in a position where they could spiritually awaken because of how much they've experienced already in their reality. Okay. Is same, I would say same for Alpha Gen 2, but I think Alpha is more like sprinkle, you know what I'm saying? The majority of divine soldiers are in Gen Z, millennials, sprinkle and Gen X, and then the sprinkle and alpha, right? But majority of the divine light workers are going to be millennials and Gen Z. Okay, I know y'all peeped the game too because of how everything has shaped up and unfolded in the last 23 of my years of my life. Anyway, you can definitely tell who was sent here by the Lord to bring change to this planet. You can tell which generations were sent here for that. You know what I'm saying? It's very obvious because of just how things have unfolded, right? And Gen Z and millennials, right? We've all known them as the generations that just don't give two flippin' flying, okay, onion saucer rings, okay? Don't give not a one, right? Will stand against the government and tell the government try me. Okay, that is millennials and Gen Z, right? So it makes sense why the most light workers are in millennials and Gen Z, right? Of course, you got your sprinkle and Gen Alpha, and then you got your sprinkle Gen X. Okay, now I'm not saying anyone that is 50 and above couldn't have gone through their spiritual journey, but I'm saying it's like sprinkle sprinkle. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot. It's it's not a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's not a majority of like boomers or something, or no. So it's very sprinkle when you're talking about spiritualists anywhere from like 50 and up. Okay, it's very you got that percentage is very low. So that's why it's understandable for Spirit to say that mainly millennials and Gen Z have the most amount of light workers and divine soldiers here on this planet at this time, right? 144,000 of us around the planet on the globe at this time, working for world peace and divine and bringing more light and love and justice to this planet, right? All of us are at different points of our journey. Okay, there's, like I said, Spirit, we were going over numbers, and Spirit is like a good 5% of the people that were, here before the millennials and the Gen Z. A good, that 5% is already in a spiritual recognition platform. Like, they already have their foundation that's needed. You know what I'm saying? They already have, eyes on them. Okay, they're just waiting patiently for the rest, the 95% to I'm gonna say catch up, but get to where they need to be in the time that they need, right? And Spirit said this is going to be in the next 5 years. Okay, so all 144,000 of us will be where we need to be, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, and career-wise, to where we're holding a position of recognition, whatever it is we specialize in, so that we can come together, okay, and really, right, get the divine revolution underway in the physical, okay? Because right now it's all spiritual, right? The warfare that's happening right now, it's all spiritual. Okay, you might see them do little things here and there in the physical, but don't get it twisted. They still trying to mess with the spiritual. Okay, it's not. Everything is connected and tied to the spiritual. Okay. All right, I try to tell people that, you know what I'm saying? It's not about the physical, okay? The physical relies heavily on the spiritual, right? And I am patiently awaiting the day that, that is worldly recognized, not just recognized in Hinduism, Buddhism, or in science, but, like when we recognize that energy is everything, and that spirituality is just the basis of understanding energy and how to convey it, stand in it, use it, right? There's a bunch of different things you can do with energy, but spirituality is really just understanding that, right? Understanding that spirits, ghosts are just energy, right? Ancestors, energy, right? God, energy. This bed I'm sitting in, energy. That's all it is. Just energy. You know what I'm saying? And if I apply energy to energy, what do you get? A reaction. Oh. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. I I break it down this way because once it starts to click, it really clicks, okay? Period. I don't know what you said, but we're vibing. I don't know if it's in like a different language or not, but we are doing personal readings, everyone, just so you know. Okay, right now I'm just literally just going on a tangent about things. So if you like a personal reading, let me know down in the chat. All right, $5 for a 3 card, $10 for a 5 card. Okay, but yeah, guys, that's it. So you gotta pay attention to what's going on around you in your reality, okay? And stop acting like everything is normal. Y'all are weird for that. Those of you that are doing that. You go to your 9 to 5 job, driving on the roads, going to these places, acting like it's normal. Acting like the world as it stands is normal right now. Like, come on now. I know you're not trying to still keep that mindset from 30, 40, 50 years ago when it's obviously not working for the majority. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. It don't make sense for some of us to do good. It don't make sense for some of us to have our basic needs met. That don't make sense at all. I tell y'all all the time, I don't agree with capitalism. I don't agree with democracy. I don't agree with communism. Okay? I don't fully agree with socialism other than the fact that at least everybody's basic needs are met. Okay? Everybody deserves a house and some land. Everybody deserves free food. Everybody deserves free and clean water. I'm confused why they're charging you for something that you can find in nature. Okay, and you could build yourself. So wait a second now. So and the land is free too. I'm confused because you didn't make the land. You act like you sat here and you created the earth. You ain't do. Wait a second now. So you're telling me that this land belong? No, it don't. It don't belong to you, right? Hi Nicole, how you doing? How you feeling? Let me know down in the chat, right? Like it's just like no, you mean to tell me the things that I can go out here and get for free in Mother Nature, you want to charge and you basically want me to pay for something that I can no. So yes, those kind of things, free healthcare, right? Because again, if I am getting plants from the wildness and the out in Mother Nature. You know what I'm saying? I can get even herbal medicine out in nature too. So why is healthcare not free? We wouldn't need big pharma. Grocery stores would be obsolete as well. Because I mean, unless you're gonna buy their manufactured lab grown food, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you want the chemically produced food, then I understand. I understand why we keep grocery stores, but in and of a sense, everything else, animals reproduce by themselves. We don't have to touch any of that. That's just the cycle of life. We don't have to do anything with that. Fruit, vegetables grows on trees, grows on plants in the dirt. I'm confused. Why are we paying for that? What am I talking about? Honestly, I'm just going on in a tangent about things that I would like you guys to be more self-aware about and consciously aware when it comes to the reality that we currently live in with our society. Okay? So, like I said, that stuff should be free. Okay? When it comes to your basic survival needs, those things should be absolutely 100% free. Your family should just get those and have those, and people are like, well, that sounds like communism and socialism. I'm not agreeing with everything in socialism. I didn't say all that because I still believe if you want extra, you need to do things to get extra. Okay, like what? I didn't say all that. I said that your basic necessities should be met because we are all human beings at the end of the day, and I don't understand why some people are struggling just to be a human being. I'm confused. No, so not doing that. Yeah, like I said, you guys don't have to agree with me. Okay, these are my views, these are my beliefs. Okay, this is the world that I'm gonna fight for, right? One where all of humanity's basic needs are met. Because I don't think anybody should be struggling for the basic human necessities that you either need or you will perish. Okay, there's like what? Come on now, like if you don't get food in your system, you will perish. If you don't get water in your system, you will perish. Okay, like what if you don't have proper you know shelter from whatever living conditions and weather conditions you are in? Okay, there's a possibility you will perish. You know what I'm saying? So what? And then healthcare. So I mean, honestly, if people stop eating all those lab grown foods and lab manufactured foods, right? Things like big pharma, cancer, those things kind of things will kind of like just die, just dwindle down. They wouldn't be as prevalent as they are today. They're only as prevalent as they are today because of those certain foods that people keep putting into their bodies, as well as certain conditions they have made for humans, like we're lab rats, right? So those kind of things make it so that you need big pharma. You need these medications that they produce, which still just stem from the plant. I mean, like, yes, they're putting a whole bunch of other chemicals in it, but if you actually like read some medications, right, and what's in it, it's like it really just stems from the plant. I mean, I have an encyclopedia on herbal medication, and it tells you what medications use different parts of those herbs. Why shouldn't I just use the herb then? Tell me that. And the herb is free 99. I'm confused. I mean, yeah, because they don't, like I said, they sell you back everything that's really free in this world. Being sneaky and shisty with the seven of swords, they sell you back everything that is in this world that's already free. Then they want you out here, yeah, with the sun, right? They want you out here struggling. You know what I'm saying? Struggling, and it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up to me. Because and it will never add up to me, right? Because what? If people didn't have to figure out how they were going to survive, right? Humanity would be thriving. It would be thriving. You know what I'm saying? Because people wouldn't feel like all their money, all the work that they've been putting into these corporations and these businesses has just been going into them trying to provide a house over their head, clothes on their back, and food in their mouth, right? You know what I'm saying? So it would work a lot better if people didn't have to spend all their money on their survival things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it works a lot better if people feel like they don't have to pour their last dollar into making sure they can survive and not end up on the streets. Like, what's so hard about that to grasp? I feel like y'all get it. You know what I'm saying? But I wonder, like, what's so hard for those who don't get why everybody's basic necessities should be met? Like, what's so hard about it? Right? And then they're like, oh, well, then, who's gonna pay for it? My guy, the government. I don't, like, what? You're like, well, no, our taxes, baby, the government is pouring trillions of dollars into the military. Nobody give a flippin' flying monkeys, rats behind about that freaking military. Like, what? And they're like, oh, well, you gotta protect, your country and stuff like that. No one cares, right? Who are you protecting it from? Russia? Like, y'all best buzz at this point, America. Like, stop playing. Like, who are you really protecting yourself from? You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, oh, well, China don't want no smoke, because China don't want nobody coming for their dynasty that they've built for the last 100,000 years. Okay, you know what I'm saying? China is not gonna. If China wanted smoke, China would have had smoke with America a long time ago. Okay, I want y'all to understand that China don't want smoke. Okay, now China gonna clap back when China need to clap back, but they don't want smoke. Um, and Russia is hot headed, and that's why y'all becoming BFS with them. So it's really like, who is your enemy when America, you really the problem anyway. Like, be so for real. America is the problem anyway. So it's like, what? Who are you worried about? You worried about what? NATO coming after you? The world government coming after you because you got a little out of hand? Like, who are you really worried about? Spending trillions of dollars on the military. Trillions for what? For what? Make it make sense. I think you should invest a cool $1 billion and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? You could be investing trillions of dollars into your people, into making sure that your people have all their needs and necessities met. Why aren't you pouring trillions of dollars? My tax money is that same money that's being poured trillions of dollars into that military. So why can't those trillions of dollars that you're pouring into the military be poured into the community so that everybody's needs are met? Okay? I don't want nobody on the street. Everybody should have some land, everybody should have a house. Everybody should have food and water and free healthcare. I'm confused. Everything else that they want, they can go get. What you want to keep capitalism alive, they can go get that. Period. All right, they can invest their time and energy into making a living for the things that they want in their lives, not things that they actually need in order to survive. You feel what I'm saying? That's the kind of world I want to build, right? Because I can't stand whatever they got going on here right now. It's just not okay. um it's not all right. I'm not messing with it. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta go. It's got to go, and we will be tearing it down. Okay. This century. Okay, I don't care. What they say about it. Okay, because it's not gonna it's not going to stop the divine revolution from taking place. Okay, that's what they really need to understand here, is that it's not going to stop the divine revolution from taking place. Because it's already here. I want you guys to understand that the divine revolution is happening. Like we are in the midst. It's not, when I say like in the next 5 years, all the 144,000 souls will be ready to come together and congregate into making this a physical thing, not just a ether energetic thing, right? I mean that we are right now in the revolution, right? We are energetically fighting all on our own fronts, and then we will eventually be able to fight together all on the same front. Okay. So whenever that occurs, whenever that happens, right, all in divine timing, we're gonna watch it unfold and play out, and it's going to be beautiful. Okay, you're gonna watch God do God's work, and you're gonna love it. Okay, because the world peace that's gonna come with this planet, all right, the utopia we're going to build, because we no longer want to be their musky moon rabbits, pets, and sheep, following their every command and their word and their illusions and their trying to keep us disillusioned so that we can keep following what they want us to do for their agenda. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to really, 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 really stop all that. Okay, and build a better world here, right? So I'm not like, I want y'all to know, I'm keeping these videos because I want y'all to know how long I've been talking about this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I have been talking about Matrix Society for years now. I have been talking about these things that they've been trying to do in the dark that we need to bring light to and keep our eyes on them for years now. I didn't just wake up one day and was like, I'm going to start talking about this on the internet because I think it's going to be cool. No, I've been talking about this on the internet because of the fact that I need y'all to be aware and present and here with me so that you can see what I need you to see when it comes to these things. Okay. All right. It's not even just me that needs you to see, right? It's God that needs you to see. All right. And that's who they're truly trying to block you from, and who I'm trying to guide you to. Okay. I'm trying to guide you to the Lord. They're trying to guide you away, keep you disillusioned, not knowing where to go and who to rely on and turn to. Okay. So yeah, y'all, I just want y'all to keep that stuff in mind. I will be posting the TikTok live that from yesterday, so y'all can see what went down, and y'all can see how I was only throwing speculations, and TikTok really tried to play in my face. But guess what? God is good all the time. I told y'all God was gonna figure it out, because why they approve my appeal? What I say? Why they approve my appeal? Exactly, because they know they was BSing and they was wrong. Don't try me, YouTube. All right. You don't want beef like me and TikTok. Y'all know, but they be the ones starting it, y'all. Y'all know they be the ones starting it. I mean, why would you take down my live talking about I'm talking about misinformation? Y'all starting stuff on purpose. That's why I tell you they don't like me. They don't like me because I'm gonna say my stuff. I'm gonna talk my truth. That's why they don't like me. And I don't care. You know, the government cannot like me all they want. I know they've clocked my energy since I was born. I don't care. I tell them all the time, cause you know I tell them all the time. They should have got me when I was a baby. They should have got me when I was a kid. They should have got me before I became consciously aware. Right? Plenty of opportunities. I mean, my father was in the military. Plenty of opportunity. They should have stopped me before I became consciously aware, right? Of my gifts, of just the things that are going on in Mixture Society. They should have stopped me. I tell them, I try to just let them know how badly they miscalculated my life. I'm a Luffy. You know what I'm saying? I am a Luffy, and they miscalculated so bad, just like the Marines did in One Piece. Okay, because I am a Luffy, right? That's what they messed up on. They didn't realize. They didn't realize. You know what I'm saying? If you guys go watch One Piece, right? Go watch. If you don't watch anime, right? This is a spiritual context that I need. This is why I want you to go watch it. Okay, not just to watch to watch. No, we're not just in. We're not just investing our energy for no apparent reason. There's a deeper context to this show that I want you to pay attention with the car honking twice. Okay, that I want you to pay attention the context in this show. Okay, because in this show it talks about a lot of different things that are going on in our own reality, in our own society today with the Matrix, right? As well as it talks about some spiritual topics as well, with with energies, and going into just some topics on teamwork, right? And how it doesn't matter how strong an enemy is, as long as everybody comes together and builds that unity and that peace together. There's no one that could stand in your way, which is what I'm trying to get the average American to understand, is that the American Revolution only worked because everybody was banding together. The Civil War only worked because people were banding together. Haiti only revolution only worked because people band together. French Revolution only worked because people were banding together. But revolutions work because of people banding together, and I don't mean thousands, I mean millions. At the point we're at, right? There's billions of people on the planet. We need millions. Okay, but that being said, I'm trying to explain that you can literally do anything with millions of people um, at your side, right? We could literally topple the government. But this show is also speaking on those kind of things, okay? And that's why I said go watch this show, because the main character is literally the embodiment of liberation. Okay, they are the embodiment of setting people free from the shackles of their reality, right? Setting them free from these hierarchies, from these dark elites, right? Setting them free from the things that shackle them and keep them down from their truest potential and highest reality. Okay, so this show really goes into those deeper core concepts, as well as giving you a good time. Some things sad, some things happy. You know what I'm saying? It's a real roller coaster in that show. But at the same time, that show is speaking heavily on what we are currently going through in this day and age. Actually, the show is on a 2-week hiatus, and it won't be back with a new episode until next Sunday. But yeah. Anywho, I want y'all to go watch that show. When you finish watching that show, then you tell me how much of Luffy is really in me, or how much of me is in Luffy. You feel what I'm saying? Just because yeah, and that's why you guys see like, I'm talking about living my best pirate life. That's why I talk about it like that because of that show. Right? Because, and when I say that, I don't mean like in the way that pirates have been misconcepted, like, and misconstrued in society, right? Nowadays, we think of piracy, you know, we think of people, you know, robbing people, you know what I'm saying? When we think of piracy, we think of, you know, people just robbing people on the daily, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I wouldn't rob, you know, anybody, but like, you know, as a pirate, right? Because that's just, I don't really need to. But, but if you're telling me that, you know, like Luffy's dream is to, you know, being the king of pirates because he wants to be free. Boom. Boom. That's the reason I want to be a pirate too, is because I want to be free from the shackles of reality, from the shackles of the box they keep trying to put us in. So, yeah, that's what my definition of pirate is. So, technically, you could say, I'm already living my best pirate life. You get what I'm saying? Because technically, you know, and go watch this show, One Piece, right? Technically, Luffy's definition of being a pirate is to be the freest of the free. Free from all shackles, free from all burdens and boxes that people try to put you in. Freedom, true liberation, right? And that's what I aspire to have in my life too. True liberation. Okay? I tell you right now, and this government is never going to shackle me again. Period. And you best believe I'll be out here like Luffy. Okay, I'll be out here like Luffy, like in Alabasta, you know what I'm saying? Wano, you know, Desarosa, okay, Drum Kingdom, you know what I'm saying? I'll be out here like those arcs. Okay, what was that? Thriller Bark, you know what I'm saying? Like we gonna be out here like those arcs, okay? Um and those are the most famous ones right now. But you know, don't forget about you know, Water 7, Log Town. What's the other one? I forget where Usopp is from, but Usopp and Nami's towns. Okay, like seriously. All right, if you watch that show, you really see how much of me is in Luffy. Okay. Or vice versa, however you want to see it. But seriously, right? Because I truly, I will not be stopping until we have world peace. And we will knock any dark entities or dark elites out of the way to get there. And they can hee hee ha ha. But we will be the last ones hee hee and ha ha. Alrighty. Because they're going to underestimate us bad. Bad, 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 bad. And even if they overestimate us, they still underestimated. Doesn't matter how many times they try to overestimate. They still don't understand the extent of this and why their souls were destined to lose since the beginning of time. And that's the truth. Ah. Alright, guys. I love you guys. You guys have a blessed day, okay? I will be trying... Let me see how I feel later today, but I might be going live on TikTok later today. Remember, they did appeal it because they know they was BSing, okay? So, yeah, so what you call it? I will try to get on there, like, maybe, like, 8 o'clock-ish. We're going to be doing the same thing, personal readings over there. So if you want to join us over there, if you join me for this rant more so than a tarot for you discussion. But hey, it is what it is, right? I enjoy coming up on here, talking with you guys, getting to know you guys, right? Sharing my thoughts and my opinions and my ideas with you guys, right? Because I am a visionary, and I have a lot of ideas for this planet. I just need a team. You know what I'm saying? I just need people to do it with, right? And all in due timing, those people will come. So I'm not worried about it, guys. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a close knit team, right? And then we're gonna have our, divine soldiers all coming together within the next 5 years to physically take part in the divine revolution, not just energetically, but physically. I don't know. I feel like we should. No, Spirit said there would be a sign. We don't need to. We didn't do any of that. All right. Alrighty, guys. So if I see you later on TikTok, I will make an announcement about it if I do go live. If not, remember we speak love, justice, and peace. Y'all have a blessed day, and I love you guys so much. I'll see y'all